guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I'm Amaka of Skybell Beauty, and if you're a returning subscriber, you are most welcome. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the cost of living in Ghana. And for those of you who do not know, you can check out my Ghana series. I moved recently to Ghana in February, right before the whole COVID breakout globally. And I have been here for about 6 months now, and I decided to share with you how much it costs me as someone who relocated here recently in 2020, how much it cost me to survive, basically. So let's jump into the video. Everything I'll be sharing is based on my own personal experience so far. I know that everyone's experience is going to be unique and different simply because of their background, their financial strength, their preferences, and a whole lot of other things. And I hope you find it somewhat helpful. So you are thinking about relocating to Accra, Ghana, and you're wondering, how much will I need? How much should I budget? What should I be looking out for? How much will it actually cost me to live here in this country? Well, obviously the first thing you want to think about and you want to have settled for sure is your rent. Now that is the topmost priority. Because you need a place to sleep, you need a place to live. Like everywhere in the world, rent varies based on your preference and your budget. So what I find here is, the more money you have, the wider your options are. I mean, you can go all the way to living in a pen suite, apartment, you know, with the full view and everything. Or you can get a decent accommodation, something very neat, something nice, standard. Or you can go on a super duper saver budget, and I mean, with each range of housing and accommodation comes its own constraints and benefits. So in Ghana, we have luxury apartments, and then we have your mid-range, you know, decent chamber and hall, and then we have the very low range, they call it single room with porch. So I'm just going to break down the various categories of housing systems that we have here and the payments or the rental schedule. If you want a more in-depth video, you can check out my living in Ghana video. I'll link it up here. I actually went around and I show you actual houses. So let's start with the luxury apartment. Now there's several of these scattered across Accra, and they are usually situated in very plush, very nice environments, such as cantonments, airport hills, East Legon, Laboni, Ridge. Those are some of the high-end, highbrow areas. I mean, I obviously would not know all of them, but these are like the top dogs in the game. And those apartments, they usually charge in dollars, which I find very strange because this is Ghana. Why are you charging rent in dollars? I still don't get it, but they do that. And with those rentals, it ranges from as low as $400 per month all the way up to $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 per month. There are Airbnb apartments, but I wouldn't recommend for someone who is relocating here. Airbnb is actually not going to save you money at all. In fact, you'd spend more on Airbnb. I recommend you actually rent a place for like a year and save your cost. Definitely, the bigger your budget, the more luxury and the more comfort you have. I'm going to soon do a series showing you luxury apartments and how much they cost here in Accra. I really want to do that. For those of you who may be interested in very standard places to live in that come with your Wi-Fi, your swimming pool, your gym, and all the normal necessities or the normal amenities that you're used to where you're from. And then we come to the semi-mid-range, and this is what you usually refer to as a self-compound house. They're usually 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, sometimes 2-bedroom apartments, and this is mainly targeted towards a family that wants a private space, that they don't have any neighbors in the whole compound. They have, you know, their parking lot and everything is just them in the house. That is what we call self-compound houses, and those usually range from around 1,000 cedis a month upwards. And with that, the main luxury is that you don't have any neighbors. You have the whole compound to yourself. You can actually have your kids playing around in the compound space, driving their bicycles and all of that, and you have that peace of mind. Now after that, the next step is your chamber and hall average housing setting. Sometimes a 2-bedroom, but usually the standard average that most people go for is a a chamber and a hall. And what that is back home we call it room and parlor, self-contained. So you have your living room or your sitting room. Sometimes it comes with a dining, sometimes it doesn't. And then you have your bedroom, and you have your bathroom and toilet, and you have your kitchen, everything en suite. In some cases, a chamber and hall can have its bathroom in the parlor, so your guests don't have to enter into your bedroom to access the toilet if they want to use it. In some instances, the washroom is located within the bedroom, so in the event that you have a guest and they want to use the washroom, they would have to enter into the bedroom. That is the average ground. That is usually what a lot of people go in for. And also you have to bear in mind that the price of an apartment varies per the location. So a chamber and hall in cantonments will not be the same price as a chamber and hall in Latebi or Koshi or Labadi or Kokomlemle or Ablekuman. No. While a chamber and hall in cantonments can actually cost you up to 1,000 cedis per month, a chamber and hall in circle can cost you for as low as 300 cedis a month. So you also have to consider what you're looking for: proximity to certain amenities, comfort, security, neatness, accessibility to commute areas if you don't drive, I mean, and all of that. So it varies based on your preferences. I'm giving you the general for an average person that you'll get a decent place at a decent location. So the prices for a chamber and hall at a decent location, the standard, like if you want to get a good place at almost every location, 500 cedis per month. Now if you're lucky and you're able to bargain, you can get places for as low as 350. You're stretching, but 400, 500, 600 you can get a decent chamber and hall at a decent location. Anything beyond 6 for a chamber and hall is now reaching. It has to be like a luxury apartment in some fancy neighborhood for you to pay beyond 600. Then we come to the lower tier, which is the single room self-contained. There's one final grade before this one. This is basically a single room, as it sounds, one room that within that room there's your kitchen, there's your bathroom and your toilet, you have your bedroom, parlor and everything. It's just one room and everything is en suite, so you don't have to go outside to shower or go outside to cook or go outside to use the washroom. Now that is called a single room self-contained, and for you to get a decent one, it ranges from 250 to 350 max. You can even get for as low as 200, but the lower the price, the trickier the place would look. So something decent and standard, 350, you get a single room self-contained. Now if you're going for that, definitely you'd have to have very few items, very few things, because if you have a huge bed, couch and everything, everywhere will be cramped. Then for the final tier, like the lowest grade, it's what we call single room with porch. And what that is a room literally, and then you have like a mini veranda in front of it. Your bathroom is shared, your kitchen is shared, your toilet is shared, so you have to do those things outside and share it with other people within the compound. Now the price for that ranges from as low as 100 Ghana cedis to 200 cedis, which I feel like 200 cedis is reaching. If you can afford 200 cedis, you may want to look for a single room self-contained. You may find something, but it may take longer. So it ranges from 100, you can even get lower, but the lower you go, mind you, the more crappy it would look. So these are the tiers, the various tiers of housing and their prices and all that, and definitely they are all dependent on your location. Another very important thing, I know this may sound trivial for some people, but you really need to pray, because some of these agents, they can put you through hell. I'm going to talk more about agents at the end of this video. So that's the number one thing. The number two thing you have to look out for when you are moving to Ghana is feeding. You have to consider your feeding budget, how you're going to feed whilst you're here and how much that would cost. Definitely that would depend on your preference, your eating habits, and I mean the size of your family. If it's a family of 4 or 5, as compared to an individual, definitely you'd spend more. So I'm speaking as an individual. I would say budget around 400 Ghana cedis. That should be around 35k a month for your feeding. Could be more. But one thing you have to note is that cost of living here is very high, especially in Accra. If you go to a local market and maybe ShopRite, you may be able to stock up for a month, depending on how much you consume. Another thing you'll have to consider is your transportation. If you have the money, you can actually come here, you can buy a car, or you can opt for rental services, and for that you need a driver's license, so you have to consider that option as well. But if you're not going for those, there are three options. We have Uber, there's taxi, and there's Trotro. Uber, as we all know, is Uber. Taxi is just like Uber but painted with the taxi sign on it, and Trotro is mini buses that commute to several places. Trotro is the cheapest option that you have. So on average, depending on your movements, I'll take budget from 150 to 300 cedis a month. Definitely if you do more of Trotro, you would save more. If you do more of Uber and taxi, you'd spend more. If you're working and you're commuting to work every day, then you should be thinking about the highest, which is 300. But if you just do maybe a few movements here and there, you don't really move about, you're mostly home, you work from home, I'd say 150 to 200 a month should be okay. However, if you're doing Uber, please make that higher. You can spend way more, like up to 800 a month, or even up to 1,000 a month, depending on your commute. Another very important thing that you want to consider if you want to move to Ghana is your healthcare. Now, they do have something called NHIS, National Health Insurance Scheme, but this scheme is only available to citizens. So if you do not have a Ghanaian passport, you are not eligible to apply. You'd have to pay for your healthcare out of pocket. So in the event that you fall sick and you need to go to the hospital, you pay full price. They have the private and the government hospitals, and definitely the government ones are cheaper than the private ones. But the waiting time in the public hospital are really long, so you may want to be careful about that. After one experience of waiting for 5 hours, I just decided to go to a private hospital, open a card with them, and that's it. I mean, it's more expensive, but at least I would get to see a doctor for treatment. You may want to have cash stocked up. Now, it depends on what you're treating, obviously. If it's just a simple flu, it wouldn't be as much. In my experience, I went for a consultation and a scan, and opening the card in a private hospital costs, I think, 250 cedis for the card and consultation only, no drugs included. In the government hospital, they cost 80 cedis to open a card. Something else you may want to think about is your data. For someone like me who works online, I really heavily rely on data, and data here is pretty expensive. And I'm doing a reference based on my home country and comparing both sides. Back home, I do 5k bundle, 5,000 naira, and that lasts me for a month, depending on how I use it, but it pretty much lasts for a month. 50 cedis data will not last it for up to 2 weeks. So thankfully, when I came here, one of the first things I did was I got a broadband router, and that has worked way better for me, like way better for me. The router itself costs about 400 cedis alone, and then you have to buy data on it, which I usually buy 300 cedis. If I'm low on cash, I can go for maybe like 200, and that lasts me for 2 to 3 months. And for someone like me who uses YouTube heavily, that's very good. In the long run, I did the math and I saw that I'm actually saving more and getting more value with the fiber broadband than with normal data on my phone. And I have actually used all 3 service providers, and I know across board how much they charge for their data bundles. Another thing you have to think about is electricity. Very important. When you're getting an apartment, make sure you look for one that has a private meter, so you have your own meter. That way you're the only one using the lights that you have. Around 100 cedis a month should be fine, depending on obviously what you have, the gadgets. And there's water bill as well, and that's not very expensive. I think you pay like 20 cedis a month or 30, depending on your facility. There are certain places which I do not like. They have this whole utility package bill that they give you every month. Some people opt to call for waste management companies to handle the trash within the compound, so you guys pay them a fee. I think they bumped it up to 30 cedis per month, and they come and they pick up the trash for you guys. You have to fill your gas, that should be around 20 cedis monthly. Now definitely you have to also consider miscellaneous. You have to have spare cash in hand for you to move about, get a little thing here and there, do stuffs that are not in the main budget. And for that, I would say you can have an extra 400 to 500 cedis to hold in your hand. You never know. So in total, I would say you need about 1,000 to 1,500, maybe 2,000 cedis monthly. Of course, there are certain things that you don't pay monthly, like your rent here. You pay it upfront a year in advance. It's very difficult for you to see houses where the landlords are willing to take 1 year rent, 1 year advance. Most of them opt for 2 years advance. Yes, and even though it's against the law, even though the law only permits them to take maximum of 6 months, they still do it. And I mean, if you need the place, you have to comply. And I find that what they do is, for more pricey places, so from 500 going, they are willing to sometimes take for a year, but the cheaper it is, girl, they want 2 years advance. So all these agents can put you through hell, like literally. They have this thing where, and it's really sad, but some of them do it, where you go on the websites. There's a website here that you can use to search for apartments, and then they post pictures of the apartments and everything. So when you go on the website, you get their contact details, you see the apartments you want, and then you call them, they'll tell you, oh, it's available, and all that. What are you looking for? You say chamber and hall, they'll say, oh, it's available. Miss me at so and so place. When you get there, you show them the picture, they'll tell you that, oh, sorry, that place is taken, but I have another one that you'd like. And you'll be like, oh, okay, let's go. They'll tell you, oh, moving fee is 50 Ghana cedis. Moving fee. That's viewing fee. Sometimes you bargain, some of them can accept to take 30 cedis, some of them will not accept. And then you pay that. Now, mind you, you have to also pay Uber or taxi to carry guys around, because you can't enter trotro to those places. Some of them will not even want to go with you. So that's another cost. You get there, they show you the apartment, and you realize that, whoa, this place is crap. Even if I'm supposed to use the place as a hen coop, I won't even take it. If you want to see what I'm talking about, just check the video I made earlier about living in Ghana, house hunting. They'll do that, take you to all the crappy places intentionally, and then the day will go by, you won't see anything you like, you'd have to come back the following day. When you come back the following day, some of them will charge you another moving fee. Oh, you have to pay them something for them to show you a place. So you're wasting money, you're wasting funds. They just keep taking you around to really crappy places, even though they know the quality or the standard of what you may be looking for, but they want to make you feel like, oh, they've done something, they've not wasted your moving fee, or I don't know. It's a money-making scheme for them. So you have to be very careful when you're dealing with agents. If you're looking into renting an apartment, I would highly recommend you contact me, and I'll help you out with the process, because I went through hell at the hands of agents, and I finally found a good person. I finally figured it out, and yeah, I hope I've been able to cover the main essential needs that you would need if you're living here or you're moving here. This does not include your moving costs and all of that. If you have further questions, this is just an overview, but if you have further in-depth questions, you can DM me on Instagram and I'll be happy to answer them. I also get a lot of questions saying, why Accra? Why is everyone going to Accra? Why did I choose Accra? Well, it depends on what you are trying to achieve. For me as a content creator, being in the capital city is the best bet for me. For someone else, they may be here for agriculture and they may want to go to a rural environment, or they may be here working with an NGO and so they'll have to move up north or something. The country is actually beautiful. There are actually so many beautiful places that you can live in. It doesn't have to be Accra, but this is my own choice and my personal journey that I'm sharing with you guys. So just to help anyone who is looking to live here, I mean, it depends. If you're relocating here for retirement, I would say you can opt for a more quiet city. I would say places like Takrady, Cape Coast, Kumasi, they are more laid-back cities, so you can actually look into them. If you're here for business, it will depend on the kind of business. If it's a fast-paced, consumer-based, business that would require you to be in the capital city, Accra may be the best bet for you. If it is agricultural, where you need a lot of land mass, it's labor intensive, you may want to opt for the rural areas because you get more land and all of that. Not to say that you won't get land in Accra, but it probably will be more affordable to do it in those areas, those farming areas. If you're going into the gold business, make sure it's legal. Kumasi or Boise may be an option for you. So it all depends on what you're coming to do, what your goal is, what you're trying to achieve and all of that, what you're looking out for. If you're looking for a busy city where you easily hustle, get your hustle on, get your job and all of that, I would say opt for Accra. That's not to say you won't find a job elsewhere, but it's usually best to be in the capital city. For me personally, I'm a city girl, so that's why I opted for Accra. If you have any more questions, feel free to discuss and share your experiences in the comment section. I usually like us to continue the conversation down there, so leave your thoughts. And please don't forget to like the video if you found it helpful. Subscribe and join the family, and turn on your notification bell so you are notified once I have a new upload. Love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.